All right, Shalom. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Baharach HaKodash. I'd also like to give double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone that do well. And I would like to say peace, safety, and salutations to the Lord's elect, the hopeful elect, and the one-third. And Lord's will, this lesson will be edifying and exhorting to the sincere sheep of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Baharach HaKodash. And as the title reads, can you be an Israelite without being on the 12 tribes chart? And the answer is yes. Yes, you can be an Israelite even though you do not see your father's lineage on the 12 tribes chart, okay? Because we are scattered abroad, all right? But the 12 tribes chart is prophecy, and it also goes with Genesis 49, these things that will befall you in the last days. Okay, this is why we have the 12 tribes chart, also according to Ezekiel 37. All right, matter of fact, let's start off with that. So the 12 tribes chart is according to prophecy. Okay, the 12 tribes chart is according to prophecy, but just because you may not see yourself on the 12 tribes chart doesn't mean that you're not an Israelite. All right, and I want to go into a great example. Okay, because you have to understand that we've been scattered many times. You have to understand that, us as a nation, we've been in many countries, amongst many nations, amongst many languages. All right. And, over time, you had Israelites that didn't even know that they were Israelites. Case in point, us. Did any of you brothers or you sisters know that you were Israelite? You had to have been told that. You actually had to have been told. And now the only reason you believe you're an Israelite right now is off faith. Okay. It's not your registry. It's not your genealogy that has been tracked, because that is according to our heritage too, is we would keep records. All right. This is why the son of and the son of, you see that in the scriptures, because that was very important at one point in time. But now this ministry, as you as an Israelite, is all based off faith. Okay, but the 12 tribes chart is a great indicator of who the tribes are, but that doesn't mean someone from China can't be a Judite or this or that. But we know what the tribes are specifically because of prophecy, and it's really, at the end of the day, it's faith and it's spiritual if you can receive it. The 12 tribes chart is actually a stumbling block to a lot of people. But you have to have the 12 tribes chart. How will you identify the tribes? And when you look at it and understand it, they make sense. Judah for Judah, Gad for Gad, Ephraim from Ephraim. But that doesn't mean just because you're Puerto Rican, and you don't see, that doesn't mean that you're not an Israelite. Okay. And this could be a hard saying for some, but let me just get the precepts so it can all tie in. Okay. I've even heard Elder Apostle Har mention how there's a lot of Judites in Brazil. And why? Because of the slave trade. You see, so there's a lot of history involved. There's a lot of the Holy Spirit that takes place. And this is why a lot of people come up and come against the 12 tribe chart and scoff at it and things of that nature, because they want a carnal DNA full proof. This thing is about faith. Okay. But real quick, I just want to get this quick precept. This is Ezekiel 37. All right, this is talking about the 12 tribes chart. Now check this out. This says, verse 15, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, moreover, thou son of man, take thee one stick and write upon it for Judah and for the children of Israel, his companions, and take another stick and write upon it for Joseph, the stick of Ephraim, for all the house of Israel, his companions. This is why we have the 12 tribes chart today. Okay, and you go off the descriptions of what will befall them in the last days of Genesis 49, things of that nature. And this is also why the 12 tribes chart is based off the Western Hemisphere, because Israel was scattered for the most part through the curses, through slavery. All right, and fleeing slavery and oppression, that Israel majority is on the Western Hemisphere, where in South and North America. Okay, when you actually look at it. All right, and it says, and join them one to another into one stick, right? United nation. and they shall become one in thy hand. Look, and when the children of thy people shall speak unto thee, saying, wilt thou not shew us what thou meanest by thee? So this is what happens when you have the 12 tribes chart out there. You'll have an Israelite who doesn't know that they're Israelite, but they may call themselves just black, or they may call themselves just Puerto Rican. And then you go into it, and then you speak to them, and and you break down, the tribe, and you go into history, and you go into many scriptures so that they can see, oh, I'm not Puerto Rican, I'm Latino, like actually right here. Let's go right here. GMS Solemn Assembly. Just give me a minute. Let's go here real quick. See if we can. We had a Ephraimite that came to camp just this past Saturday. Okay, right here, just this past Saturday. Let me see if I can click on it. The volume probably won't play. I didn't have StreamYard accept it. He was giving his testimony. Let me see. I even put the up right here. I put the camera on him right here. See, he's asking about it. He's asking what he's going into it. We're all talking, and this is what Ezekiel's talking about. But I want to say this also, but just because someone comes up and they may not be on the 12 tribes chart, that doesn't mean that they're not an Israelite. Okay. That doesn't mean that they're not an Israelite. You have to understand that was one thing that, Israelites were doing to our people in a lot of times of the gathering back in from the diaspora, the exile and the returning to the land. You had Israelites that couldn't prove their registry or their genealogy, and they were being denied. They were being denied. Just like now, you'll have Jakes, you'll have teachers that be like, do you see yourself on this sign? And then they're like, no, I don't. But they're like, this ain't for you. It's not like that. Okay. That's not what this truth is supposed to be about. And that's exactly what the scriptures go into. Let me go into it, but real quick. And Shalom, Yahbashim al-Shai, Bashim al-Karkadash, Barakatam, to you brothers and few sisters tuning in, it's just on my spirit. I got to express this real quick. I gotta go into this. So Salak, if you post any precepts, I don't get them, but this goes right what I want. This is Bayan Yasharala, Romans 8:16. The spirit itself bears witness with our spirit. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do to take me away from my God, right? You know that song. So the point is, there's nothing you can do at the end of the day to stop an Israelite from having that zeal, okay? Israelites are Israelites, whether they're on the 12 tribes chart or not. That's not negating the 12 tribes chart, but we are in a time where you're going to start having more Israelites coming around that may not be African-American, that they may not be Puerto Rican, but that don't mean that they're not Israelites, okay? And you have guys that are teaching, and they will deny. And y'all literally, why I'm like, man, this guy's got to be a Jake. He seemed like he's a straight up Jake, but they'll say because he's not on the chart, that means he can't be an Israelite. No, this is the whole reason of the Gentiles. This is the whole reason that you have the letter to the Galatians and the Colossians and the Ephesians. This is what was being told in Timothy's. Okay. This is why certain things were brought up, like don't worry about Enya's genealogies. And let's go into that. Now let's go into that. It says, bears witness with our spirit that we are the children of the Most High. Exactly. Okay. And you could tell, like, man, I think this guy's a Jake. Now, real quick, let's go into this. Now, I had looked it up. All right. Look at this. So if you look up genealogy in the Bible, the first instant comes up in Nehemiah 7. Why does it come up in Nehemiah 7? Well, one, you have to understand what prophets and books you're reading and what captivity they're in. Now, Nehemiah was in the Persian captivity. And during the Persian captivity, Israelites were given permission to go back to rebuild. Okay? So we gathered ourselves together and came to rebuild our land that was destroyed, you see? And when you think about it, Nehemiah was the Persian Empire, but then you go back, not the Babylonian, you go to the Assyrian, and you had Isaiah in the Assyrian captivity saying how Israelites are going to come from Elam and this and that and that. That was way back then. That was way back, those 3 captivities ago. that you had prophets prophesying about how Israel that was scattered will come from all the lands. You see? You see? Now, real quick, let's go to Nehemiah 7, right? Now, check this out. This is Nehemiah 7 and 5. It says, and my God, Yahweh, put into my heart to gather together the nobles and the rulers and the people that they might be reckoned by genealogy. See? See? And I found a register of genealogy of them which came up at the first and found written therein. So right here we have in the scriptures how when Nehemiah came back to our land to rebuild, there was a certain amount of Israelites that came with him, and they had their genealogy, they had the records, they had who they were. You see that? But if you fast forward in this same verse, you had Israelites that came up that didn't have their genealogy. They didn't have proof of who they were. All right, look, this is Nehemiah 7 and 63. It says, and of the priests, the children of Habaiah, the children of Kaz, the children of Barzillai, which took one of the daughters of Barzillai, the Gileonite, to wife, and was called after their name. Look, these sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but it was not found. But these are Israelites. These are Israelites that didn't have proof of their genealogy, and they're part of the priesthood. Okay, because when you keep reading, look, he comes with they come with thousands of singers and women. I mean, it was just beautiful, but they couldn't prove that they were on the chart. They couldn't prove that they were on the chart. You see that? But does that mean that they're not Israelites? Does that mean that now they're not Israelites? This is the whole concept of Gentiles. You will have men go out on the highways and byways and argue up and down how salvation's only for Israel and that Paul spoke to Gentile Israelites. But then when you have an Israelite that looks like a Gentile, that's from another nation, and he comes up to camp, they will deny that man. Do you see this? Did you see the hypocrisy? They'll teach that the Gentiles in the New Testament are Israelites. But then in the real world, when a Gentile Israelite that doesn't look like a stereotypical air quotation Israelite from the 12 tribe chart, they will deny that man or that woman because of how they look or their genealogy is not recorded on the chart. No, man. No, it don't work like that. Okay. This is why First Timothy's. Look, this is First Timothy's 1:1. It says, Paul, an apostle of Yahushua HaMashiach, by the commandment of our God, our Savior and Lord Yahushua HaMashiach, which is our hope, unto Timothy, my own son in the faith, grace, mercy, and peace from Yahweh our Father and Yahushua HaMashiach our Lord, as I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus. If somebody came from Ephesus today, all right, the modern day land of Ephesus, and they said, and he went up to someone, and look, I don't mean it, but like Sakari, all right, I've seen you, Deacon, I've seen you do it a lot. All right, imagine someone say, "Wow, I'm from Turkey," right? I'm from Turkey, which Turkey, that area is right with the scriptures. If somebody said they were from Italy, well, Crete, Titus was in Crete, and that's south of Italy. But if somebody were to name after one of these biblical landmarks, and they say, "Oh, nah, this only for the so-called," you can't do that. You can't do that because you had Israelites in Greece, in Philemon, in Colossians, okay, in Rome, in Italy. So you can't sit here and say because someone isn't on the 12 tribes chart, all right, doesn't mean that they're not an Israelite. Now, this is where what? You become spiritual. You got to be spiritual. So no, not everyone and anyone could just come in, and even there's wicked Israelites. But you read the spirit and you try them and you see, and you're like, man, you could possibly be an Israelite too. That's the gospel, okay? You're not shutting up the kingdom of heaven because they're like, oh, do you see yourself on this registry? Do you see? Can you trace back your what's your father's father's father? Hey, sometimes you might not know that. You see? And some of our fathers were Gentiles, just like us. You see? But that don't mean that you're not an Israelite, okay? We can't even prove it. Can any of you brothers, can we actually prove our genealogy? No, but but we're out there teaching. The other men can you prove? No, but they're out there teaching, because at the end of the day, it's faith. So you can't believe on one thing through faith, but then deny another Israelite based off faith. You see, the Lord has given us a very, very important spiritual job here. Okay, and you have to understand that we are dealing with the lost sheep of the house of Israel, and the lost sheep of the house of Israel have gone everywhere. They've been scattered everywhere. Okay, and the Lord is going to pull them from everywhere. And the brother posted a precept, and we's gonna grab it. This is Isaiah 11:11, enduring servant, 144K Ba. It says, and it shall come to pass. This is Isaiah. Isaiah was in the Assyrian captivity. Then the Assyrians went down and became the Babylonian captivity. And then you had Jeremiah, Ezekiel, things of that nature. And then after that came what? The Persian captivity, where who? You had Nehemiah. All right. Nehemiah. Who else was in that? Let me get myself together. In the Persian captivity, it was Nehemiah, Ezra, Esther, Malachi, Haggai, Zechariah. That was the return. Okay, so you've had Israelites that have came and went from different empires. You see, so you also got to understand too. This is why they asked, "Are you going to restore the kingdom of heaven now?" Because there was a lot of prophecies that weren't fulfilled in the time of Isaiah, but he spoke about the destruction of Babylon, or Egyptian versus Egyptian. That didn't come to pass. And then you go to what? Jeremiah. He spoke about Babylon, but they didn't know they was talking about a new Babylon. And then it happened until the end, when Daniel was raised up and he had the vision. And that's where more understanding about the Greek Empire and the Roman Empire. But then that's why in the Roman Empire, you had brothers asking Yahushua, is this it? Is the kingdom coming now? Because there's prophecies that we read about and we're waiting to happen, but we didn't know fully that there was other more things to come that need to happen. This is why you hear apostles say we have 100% truth, because all those prophecies of those empires and the things that needed to be said in them have been recorded now, and now we're in the last. We're in the seventh empire. If you count out the empires, we're in the seventh empire. So we now have a complete understanding of what we need, because there is no more heathen empires to rule, and we need to wait for. So the prophecy of Isaiah is getting ready to come to pass. You see? But these are things that we have to understand now, okay? We have the 12 tribes chart according to prophecy, but right here is another prophecy which you're going to have Israelites coming that are not going to be labeled as a African American, but that don't mean they still ain't a Judite. You see, but this Isaiah 11:11, and it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord shall set his hand again the second time. See, to recover the remnant of his people. This is why Paul went so hard, okay? Because they understood that there's Israelites out there scattered that don't know that they're Israelites. You see, he understood that in the spirit. And we're going to go back to Timothy's, you see? But it makes sense. This was being mentioned in the Assyrian captivity. And then what? Came the Babylonian, then the Persian, then the Greek, and then the Roman Empire. You see, there's a lot going on here. Okay. And it says to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria. Where's Isaiah prophesying? In Assyria. Isaiah is an Israelite prophesying in the land of Assyria. You see? And let's keep going. And from Egypt, that was a captivity prior to the Assyrian captivity, and from Pathros, and from Cush. This is in the land of Africa, and from Elam. What if an Elamite came up to camp? What if an Elamite came up to camp, but you was vibing with him because he's not on the chart? That means now he's not an Israelite. You have to understand the gospel when it's being preached to the Gentile Israelites, meaning you're going to have Israelites from all the Gentile nations. So can you be an Israelite without being on the 12 tribes chart? Absolutely. Okay. And from Elam, and from Shinar, and from Hamath, and from the islands of the sea. Hey, where you from? I'm an island of the sea. I'm an island boy. Oh, you ain't on the chart? You ain't an Israelite? You ain't an Israelite? Looking crazy. Jake looking crazy out here, denying our people. Brother said, Khan further substantiates the law regarding strangers who are boom, boom, boom. That's why there's a law about strangers. Now let's keep going. Since brother made mention of that, let's make mention of this. Then this is why this was said back in 1 Timothy 1:3. As I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus. Look, I got a spirit of curiosity on me. Modern day Ephesus. Where's modern day Ephesus? Turkey. Okay, Western Turkey. If you had someone came up, where are you from? I'm from Turkey. Oh, this ain't for you. Are you fucking kidding me? Like, do you really, when you sit back and think about that? Matter of fact, let's look. The people of Turkey. Let's look this up. Look at this. Kurds, Armenians. Armenians are Jakes. You got a battle rapper named Disaster. He's a straight up Israelite, man. He raps like Eminem. He's a straight up Israelite, but he don't look like one. Let's see. These are Armenian people. These Armenian people. You're gonna tell this fine sister. She ain't it. I'm just being silly right now. But you know what I'm saying? Like, look, they come up. You know, you got Jakes that look like this. The Bible said that. Paul, now, of course, there's some darker, you know, but it don't even matter, too. It don't matter how dark or how light they are either. Look, you know, I mean, they almost compare. He looks like Ishmael. What if this is Jake? You know, look, he almost could look like a college Edomite frat boy. But this is a Turkish. Now, I'm not saying that this literally is an Israelite. What I'm telling you is the land of Ephesus, where the letter went to, and the Ephesians, where Israelites were there. Okay, so that what all the Israelites left Ephesus, that slowly got changed into the land of Turkey today. You see, you got to really think. You brothers, hey man, I challenge you. Go look at the modern day. Look at the modern day lands. Okay, go look at where modern day Galatia is. Look at where the modern day. We just look where the Ephesians is. You know, look where these places were, and look at the people there, and understand that the disciples, the apostles, Paul, they wrote letters there. They spoke. There was churches there. There were Israelites there. Okay, and over time, yeah, they could have lightened up, but that doesn't still negate the fact that they're Israelites. Okay, so you got to understand. You got to really put things in the proper perspective when you're out teaching and speaking and thinking about this thing. Okay. This is 1 Timothy 1, and I pray this is making sense. I pray what I'm saying is making sense, you know, through the Holy Spirit. As I besought thee to abide still at Ephesus, where Ephesus is today, is modern day Turkey. But if someone came to camp, hey brother, where you from? I'm from Turkey. Oh, you are? Hey, well, you had Israelites in Turkey. That's Ephesus. Then you try his spirit. You talk to him, see where he's at. You know, when I went into Macedonia, that thou mightest charge some that they teach no other doctrine. Look, neither give heed to fables. Look, and endless genealogies. See, this is why it was being said. Look, don't worry about endless genealogy. Don't worry about trying to prove your heritage. Look, let's go back. Let's go back to Nehemiah. Look, it says Nehemiah 7:64. There were Israelites. They sought their register among those that were reckoned by genealogy, but it was not found. Therefore, were they as polluted, put from the priesthood. You had Israelites that were returning from captivity, and you had Israelites denying them of their priesthood status because they couldn't prove it on paper. That's crazy. You see? So what's that today? Oh, you ain't on the 12 tribe chart. This ain't for you. We only here for so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American. We only here for so-called, you ain't Latino? Ain't for you. You ain't a Negro? Ain't for you. That's BS, man. That's carnal, that's BS, and it's not being spiritual. You see? Where the Lord has blessed us to be spiritual. Just because you're not on a chart don't mean you ain't an Israelite. You see? And that's the spirit Paul was in. The Apostle Paul. Makes sense now? It says, neither give heed to fables and endless genealogies, which minister questions. Right? I don't know. You might not be an Israelite. Like, bruh, you can't even prove you're an Israelite, but you over here contemplating if they're an Israelite or not. This thing's about faith. And at the end of the day, it's all about the Lord. The Lord going to gather it in. You water, you plant. The Lord gives an increase. The elect is going to wake up regardless of their skin color or where they from. The elect is the elect, okay? Now, is majority of the Israelites here in America? Absolutely. America, so North America, South America? Absolutely. But is there Israelites scattered abroad? Absolutely. Amongst every nation, kindred, and tongue. Okay? So we're coming into a time where just because they're not on the 12 tribe chart don't mean they're not Israelites. It says, rather than godly edifying, which is in faith, so do. That's what we're supposed to do. Now let's go to Titus. This is Titus 3:8. It says, this is a faithful saying, and these things I will that thou affirm constantly, that they which have believed in Yahweh might be careful to maintain good works. These things are good and profitable unto men, but avoid foolish questions and genealogies. Why do we avoid foolish questions and genealogies? Because at the end of the day, we're not to judge according to the spirit. I see you, brother. Let me grab that precept. The water. All right. Real quick. John 7:24. Judge not according to appearance. You ain't black enough. That's what the old school did. That what the apostles always told us. The old school did that. You had to be this kind of black. This, you had the old school did that, man. But now, hey, it's opened up. All right. Judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Right. We're in the Gospels now. We're in the Acts all over again. So we're meeting a lot of Israelites that may not identify as an African American. Okay. That may not identify as a Brazilian, but you try in the spirit, like, oh man, dang, but you a really lost sheep. You don't even know who you from. But in your spirit, hey man, it's gotta be a Jake. This guy's gotta be a Jake. See? That's all it is. It's not that deep. It's not that hard, man. It's not that, it's not that deep. He says, even a search in Algo shows you Afro-Thai, Afro-Turk, Afro-Danish, Afro-Finnish people, etc. Right. I got a good one for you. You have the people, let me get it together. The what are those people? The damn, who are they? I can't remember it off the top of my head right now. They're called the Mexicans of Europe. Polish, the Wadi Abashimashai. You have Polish people that are known as the Mexicans of Europe. I worked for a Polish man. That was a straight up Jake. Okay. Do I know his tribe? No, I don't know his tribe. I don't know his genealogy, but I know he's an Israelite. I worked with that man. He told me, he said, man, when I went to high school, I was the only white guy on the team. But he's staying on the team with all bunch of Judite Jakes, and he's on the team too. See, so you might not know someone's tribe, but we know they're an Israelite. Nah, brother, you an Israelite. Don't worry, you an Israelite. It says, I tried doing the ancestry thing one time, which Esau is a damn demon. He's a witch. So we don't even mess with it. But I get you, brother. I had tried doing the ancestry thing one time and couldn't even go back 2 generations. Faith is key. Boom. At the end of the day, it's faith, not genealogy. At the end of the day, it's faith, not genealogy. That's what I should have titled it, but I kind of wanted a more dramatic title. At the end of the day, it's faith, not genealogy. At the end of the day, it's faith and not genealogy. Titus 3:9. But avoid foolish questions and genealogies and contentions and strivings about the law, for they are unprofitable and vain. It's vain for you to try to sit here and go make a man go back and prove all this. And it's really foul because the men that you have doing it, they can't even do that themselves. So it really is foul to see that take place. But real quick, I want to go into this. And I'm going to wrap it up. So in this chapter, it speaks about nations and tongues, right? Now we go into this to prove how all these people that are coming from these lands are Israelites. But one thing you have to understand is they're still going to look like the people of the land that they're coming from. So they may not be on the 12 tribe chart, but that don't mean they're not an Israelite, man. Okay. Rev 7:9. And after this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude. So you're going to have to expect Ling Ling with her bling bling. All right. Remember that? She said, Ling Ling, where your bling bling? That was an Israelite. And man, it's really beautiful that the Lord opened us up to our scattered brothers and sisters out here. It's really beautiful. And you're really rotten in the spirit just trying to gather black people, because you're going to have a lot of Hamites with you too, But let me keep going. It says, which no man could number. Look, of all nations, you're going to have Israelites coming from all nations, looking like all these people, and kindred, and people, and tongues stood before the throne, and before the Lamb clothed with white robes and palms in their hands. Now, real quick, let's go into what is it? No man could number. Nation. No, is it nation? Let's try nation. Let's see what that says. Okay, this is not the one I want. Of nation, I think it's kindred. Let's see. Nation and kindred. Let's see what kindred is. Just give me a moment. Right here. Boom. It said all nations and kindred. But what? In the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob. See, they descend, but can they prove that? No, they don't have the record. They don't have their genealogy. Okay. Even where they grew up isn't even on the 12 tribe chart, but prophecy lets us know that you're going to have Israelites that are going to come from nations that might not be on the 12 tribe chart, but they still are Israelites. You see? So get ready for that, man. Get ready for a lot of our brothers and sisters to come in that don't look like the stereotypical Judite, that don't look like the stereotypical Benjamite or the stereotypical Ephraimite. This is the time we're in, okay? And this is what the gospel's all about, okay? This is what the gospel's all about, all right? Now, Salaki, I was in the spirit, so I didn't post it right here, okay? I'll show you real quick. I know you heard me, but let me go into it. So go to Rev 7, and you go into the word kindred and Rev 7 and 9, and it's right there, okay? It's right there. You see? In the New Testament, all persons descending from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob, but they're not going to look like a stereotypical Israelite. You see? They're not going to have their genealogy. They're not going to have their registry, just like us, because it's all based upon faith. You see? So I just wanted to do that lesson. I prayed it was edifying. Read Nehemiah 7. It's a beautiful read, and it goes into how, you had Israelites that were coming back from, captivity, and they got denied because they couldn't prove their genealogy. They didn't have the registry. Just like today, you got Israelites that are being denied just because they're not on the 12 tribes chart. The 12 tribe chart matters, absolutely. But you have Israelites that are scattered abroad among all nations that may not be found on the 12 tribes chart, but that doesn't mean that they're not Israelites. So the 12 tribes chart now is your genealogy. It is your registry. But with the curses, with the captivities, with the diaspora, you have our people scattered further, okay? Further. All right. But it still doesn't negate the fact that they're Israelites as well. So I just wanted to do that lesson. I really pray that it was edifying. I pray it was, exhorting. Okay. And I just want to say, hey, call Allah Yah Bashim El Shai, Bashim Rachakudash. And I just want to give double honors to my elders and apostles, a great millstone that do well. With that being said, shalom.